there's nothing wrong with being passionate in business, but you can't let passion rule your business decisions.
Okay.
And you are right, John. It is a cultural thing. Black folks are passionate people. Our mamas was passionate, daddy's was passionate, grandma was passionate. You come in the house, auntie was dancing and yelling and screaming at the TV, and it was just, for no real reason other than just was happy in the moment. You know what I mean? Soul Train was on, whatever it might be. But we grew up, a lot of us, in homes that were very passionate, right? Passionate with a lot of energy. And many of us learn that, and it gets ingrained in us, and it holds us back when it comes to business.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Hollywood is one of the most adversarial, toxic, loud, yelling, in your face industries out there.
Hmm.
I have a practice that I call taking the thunder out. When I am in an adversarial situation, oftentimes I'm going against somebody, they're yelling, the other person's yelling, I might be yelling, everybody's yelling, right? Nobody is accomplishing anything. As a producer, my job is not to win arguments and win fights. My job is to keep my eye on the main thing, which is getting the project done.
Mm-hmm.
My secret to that is take the thunder out. So the first thing I do, I tell a story in my book about a movie that I made, and it was called Takers. And Takers was about a heist crew, good-looking guys that all dressed up. It had Idris Elba, Paul Walker, God bless him. T.I. was in it, Matt Dillon, Michael Ealy, Hayden Christensen. Oh, yeah. Great cast.
Yeah.
And the first day on set, this movie almost didn't happen because you look at the movie Takers, all the guys, they got on suits and ties and they wear pocket squares, and everybody is very well dressed because part of our thesis was that even though it was an action movie, a heist movie, we wanted to also get young women, and we had all these good looking guys, Paul Walker and Idris Elba and Hayden Christensen and Michael Ealy, come on, right? Chris Brown, right? So we wanted these good looking guys to be dressed to the nines. And Paul Walker showed up the first day on set, God bless him, and Paul Walker's something of a hippie. And he showed up and he had his hair long and he had on his ripped jeans, and that's fine because listen, let me tell you, actors on a movie set, they show up looking all kinds of crazy. Before y'all see them, trust me, before I have my whole team get their hands on them, you would not recognize some of your favorite stars.
Right.
So Paul showed up, dingy jeans, long hair, scruffy. The problem was that Paul wanted that to be his look for the film. He did not want to change. He said, this is my best look. And the head of the studio was there because it was day one. And the head of the studio immediately tore into him. This is not what we talked about. We talked about this and we had a plan, and you're going to mess it up and you can't look like that. Get in there. They got to cut your hair. And Paul, who was an easy, soft-spoken guy, he stood his ground. He said, no, I'm not doing that. He said, I'm not doing that. That's not the look. I don't like that. And they were going at it. So here I am, day one of Takers. I got my studio head, one of my major stars. They're arguing right outside the hair and makeup trailer. The rest of the actors are on set with my director, and my director's calling me saying, Will, what do you want me to do? I'm supposed to shoot this scene.
And how big is the budget for this film? How much money is on the line?
Takers was about between $25-30 million.
So it's a big deal.
Yeah, especially for me at that time. Yes. Yeah. So moderately priced for Hollywood, but it wasn't, it wasn't cheap by any means. Right around 30, actually, now I think about it.
You had to succeed. It had to work.
Had to succeed, had to work. And in Hollywood, like a lot of places, time is money. Yeah. So I told the director, I said, hey, shoot the first scene without Paul. I said, don't make it a big deal, right? Because I didn't want to have a full revolt on my set with my other actors, because quite honestly, many of them felt like that. They really weren't that comfortable with the suit and tie look. I had a behind the scenes argument with Idris Elba, but I'd handle it behind the scenes. Right. And so Idris had agreed, all right, I'll wear it. I'll wear the suit. I'll be clean shaven. He agreed to do it. But I knew if word got out that Paul was fighting back, everybody was going to fight back. Right? So I said, the director's name was John. I said, John, go shoot the first scene. Don't make it seem like Paul was ever supposed to be in it. Continue as if. By this time, Paul Walker had left the trailer. and gone to his own personal trailer because he was about to find the next flight to Hawaii. He was like, I'm out of here. I'm not doing the movie. He was quitting. I walk in the trailer and I knock on the door. I can hear the gruff. Yeah. What do you want? I come in, and the first thing I did was I apologized. I said, Paul, I am so sorry. I said, you are here. This is your first day on the Will Packer set. You are clearly very unhappy. Something has been miscommunicated. You thought one thing, the studio thought something else, and now you are here in an uncomfortable, untenable situation, and I take full responsibility to that because this is my production. I am sorry. I said it and I meant it. I took, because he was ready. He was ready for somebody to come in and tell him how it was wrong and how the emails had been exchanged and all that. I came in and immediately said, I gave him somebody to blame for it. I said, I'm sorry, blame me. Yeah. And I meant it, right? You got to be real. Don't be superficial with it, right? But in that moment, it was not about me saying, well, Paul, we told you what it's going to look like. And it wasn't about me saying, well, studio head, you should have made sure that Paul knew. And it wasn't about that. What was we trying to get done? What were we trying to get done? So I walked in and immediately said, this is on me. I said, if you stay with us in this production, I will work every day to make sure that you do not feel like this again. Because on a Will Packer production, you should be able to concentrate on what you're doing. You should not have to be emotional about anything. And he took there, he breathed a second, and he said, I get it. He said, you're the good cop. He said, but you're a damn good one. He said, I'm going to do it. He said, I'm going to do the movie. Yep. He said, just give me a second. But what I did in that moment was I took the thunder out of the situation. Yeah. And so many times, like you said, John, we're trying to win the battles. We're over here trying to win the battle. Somebody said something about me on social media. Somebody looked at me the wrong way. Somebody did something that was disrespectful. You're trying to win a battle. Let me respond. I know exactly what I'm going to say. I know how I'm going to get my revenge. I'm going to know what my retort is going to be. You're so focused on winning the battle when there's a war going on. Boom. Business is a war. Business is macro. Business is big picture. That's right. We get too caught up in the minutia. Take the thunder out. Once everybody's ready to tell you how you're wrong and they're right. Especially when you got a disagreement. Everybody's got all this stuff. I can't wait till John comes in here. I'm ready. I'm ready for him. I got a whole list of things because John know he messed up and I'm ready to do all this. I'm ready to tell him. And if John walks in and says, you know what? I apologize. Yeah. My part in this, because everybody has a part. It's never one way. Yeah. I apologize because my part in this helped to exacerbate this situation. Yeah. I'm wrong. Yeah. And you start off like that. They got this whole list of things they was ready to run down. But wait, what? You said you were wrong. What? But wait a minute. I was ready for you to argue with me because I got retorts. I got stuff to come back with. Nope. Mm-hmm. I apologize. Mm-hmm. I apologize. How can we move forward? Mm-hmm. Take that thunder out. Take it out because you keep your eye on the bigger prize. I've learned that has served me well multiple times in Hollywood, and it will serve you right in whatever industry because we all fall victim to that moment where we get so hot, so angry, and focused on the battle, and we lose in the war.
So I owe you an apology. I was focused on the wrong part of this book. I was so thrown off, and I thought it was so provocative, focusing about the art of healthy arrogance and dreaming big, that I thought that was really the part that we needed to unpack. And now I understand, no. Who better than you?
Who better than you?
Better than you.
That's right.
That's the subtitle. Who better? Again, this is what we tend to focus on the noise. I was oh my, healthy arrogant. No. Yes. That's the sideshow. Who better than you to lead? Who better than you to be a father? Who better than you to be a mother? Who better than you to be excellent? Who better than you to be God's child? Who better than you to show up and show out in the most positive way? So
that's right.
We don't have to talk about this. But he just, in this example, and you guys need to rewind this, show it, share it with your weekly girls meeting, show it, get your boys in the sidewalk and listen to this life lesson because what he just described is how I live my life. Talk without being offensive. Listen without being defensive. And always leave even your adversary with their dignity. Because if you don't, they'll spend the rest of their life working to make you miserable. It becomes personal. You got to step over mess and not in it. And that's essentially what he just told you in this story. He had every right to be offended. He has $25 million on the line, $30 million on the line. It's his name on the door. Everybody had an agreement in advance. They read the contract. And
Yep.
it's like being married. You got to decide whether you want to be married or you want to be right.
Yeah.
Those are two
Right.
different things, right?
Right.
And so the wisdom and maturity of Who Better Than You is he's giving you a life lesson. He's giving you 30 years in business, 40 something years on this planet. He now owns an island in the Caribbean. He's a part owner in a professional football team. He's got 9 NAACP Image Awards. He's got all this success to his credit, $1 billion in ticket sales. But what he's telling you is it's some really basic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do this, it's a cheat sheet for success.